All right, so we have hockey tonight, and it's the teddy bear toss. I got mine ready. I'm pumped. And a little bit of a geographical rival tonight. You have the Oswego State Lakers coming in again for a second teddy bear toss matchup versus the Pioneers. Last time the Pioneers faced them in the teddy bear toss, they would sink them. I think the score was 5-0. Let me take a look. 4-0. It was a 4-0 win on 12/3/2022. So it's been 2 years and 3 days since the last time these teams faced on a teddy bear toss. And they also faced earlier in 2025 on 1/10/25. And it was a Utica win 5-3, their first since their last loss, which was in Oswego the year before. Now, this is going to be a very interesting game because you have two teams that seem like they're on a little bit of a down tick, and you have a Utica team who, when they're focused and they come into a game prepared, they look so good. But the problem is when they're not prepared, like it seems like they looked over the UMass Boston Beacons. Who names their team after a beacon? Seriously. Not even a joke. Who names their team after a beacon? That's boring. Pick something more fun. But I'm joking. So, Utica comes in at 5-5-0. Oswego is 6-1-0. But Oswego, their power play does not look like it has historically in the last couple of years. Just a little above 3.0%, or just above 3% better than the Pioneers. And the Pioneers is very low. It's gotten even lower to a 14.29%. Their top point getter is Ahern at 11 now. And Oswego's top point getter is Baker, a defenseman, at 6. The Pioneers have a higher average goals a game and have gotten into more shootoutish games. When you look at Oswego, they had a 1-0 win against Geneseo, which was early in the season. It speaks to how good they may be. But you also look at other parts of their schedule, like their win against Plattsburgh. As much as Plattsburgh is ranked, the problem is Plattsburgh looks a little rough this year, record-wise. Keyword there's record-wise. I haven't seen a lot of them on the ice, so I can't tell you for sure. They have, and that win against Geneseo was in Geneseo. They have a 4-1 win against Brockport, which hits Brockport. I think they're going to get stomped by pretty much everyone in the conference. They beat Plattsburgh by 1 in Oswego. If that was in Plattsburgh, who knows if Plattsburgh gets the edge. They beat Skidmore 3-1 in Oswego. Utica may have lost to them in an exhibition, but I also think there was some things going on for that it didn't look like a Pioneer team, and you have so many transfers in the top 9 of the forwards and the defensive core that you're trying to fit in and find a system at the right speed. It's going to take time. And you have a 3-0 win over Canton, who it's also Canton. Until I see them prove that they are that step above, and they are receiving votes, until they prove that step above and deserve to be put with those teams that are receiving some votes and getting a lot of votes. Yeah. They beat Potsdam 4-2 in Potsdam, and then they got smoked by Hobart last night 5-2. The one thing that looks better on the Pioneers than it does Oswego is the Pioneers would keep up with Hobart. Oswego did not in their teddy bear toss last night. And it was in Oswego. Utica did it when it was both in Utica and in Hobart. So that looks good in their favor. I mean, we'll see. I have a little bit of worry for this game, but I'm also not. I'm not Hobart worried, I'd say. And that's mostly proved by if you watch the Hamilton game, Utica played arguably their best hockey this season. It seemed like a lot of pieces of this team finally started to fit. some guys started to go where they really needed to go. A guy that really started to stick out to me now is McMillan. He's showing a lot of flashes. I think he can be really good. Really good. Like, if he continues to put in work and he does take steps, I think he can be a top 6 guy here. I think he could. That's where his potential is. I'm not saying that's where he will get. I'm saying his potential. Serrato's playing, like, out of his mind good. Even if there's times where he doesn't score, there's so many good looks he makes and plays he takes that I'm like, you're a diamond in the rough. Coach Heenan strikes again. Chris Carroll obviously still has to find that place in the lineup after an injury, and you can't put a timetable on how a guy will find his mark off an injury. You can't. I pray that he gets to where he was before the injury last season, because he was a phenomenal player that was putting up better numbers than John Gutt, who was his line mate. He was putting up arguably some of the best numbers on the team at that time out of a top 6 forward. And then he gets hurt, which sucks. You never like to see a guy like that get hurt when he's playing such good hockey. Curtin looks really good. Curtin, we kind of have a read on him now. If he's not the fastest guy, but he doesn't need to be the fastest guy. He knows where to be, how to be, when to be. He doesn't need to be fast. He just needs to be in the right place, and he knows how to be in the right place. And that's all you can ask of a goalie. Is just be in the right place at the right time. I don't care how you get there. I don't care why you get there. Just get there. And he gets there. And you have some of the decor that started to fit in. The Gluckler injury hurts. It does. But it seems like some of these younger guys and some of these transfers are starting to find the role, find the mark, get to the speed. One that still hasn't, that I think is starting to click, he started to click a little bit in the Hamilton game, is Longhi. He had the only goal. Longhi's hands he has arguably, from what I've seen in a game, in a real game situation, he puts on some of the best hands of the team. In an in-game situation, I don't know what practice looks like. I don't know what everything else looks like. I don't know who has the best hands. I just know what I see in the game. And he's some of the best hands on the team in an in-game situation. Now, he positions himself like he's still at D1 speed sometimes, and that will burn him. And it's no fault of his. That's just about, any player will have that problem that comes down from the speed. Any player. And you just got to take the time and get used to it. I think he can be really good if he clicks and stays with it. He'll be really good. He's still my breakout. I had 2 breakout candidates after the first game or 2 after I really saw how they play. Serrato and Longhi. Serrato I think he's breaking out. He's playing a good style of hockey already. Obviously, there's steps to take, and he still has moments where he has lapses. You saw a crack here and there against Hamilton. But he's getting himself to a good spot. He's made himself an everyday guy already as a freshman that has a very rough and old lineup at the top half. And he said, I'm going to make myself a top 4D off the bat. Obviously, Hilfiger is a guy that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, doesn't look flashy on the tape like a Longhi or an Ahern, but he'll come in, he'll do a job, and he'll go. He'll do his job, and that's all you need. Procius is fitting in. I think Procius is I think he's a slightly smaller and differently molded Schultz Dice in terms of he's such a smart player. He's a very smart player from what I see on the ice. And I think this is such a loaded D room that he wasn't getting time. German's another guy that he's got the build and he's got the raw. He's more raw than Procius, but could be another guy that if he sticks with it and stays in Utica, he can be a guy. He can be a really good guy, a good player, an everyday player in the top 4. It seems like Gary already likes him because he's gotten play. He's gotten a lot of play. And that could just be because his talent he's earned that through talent and play. Because Coach Heenan, if you play bad, you're going to get the benching. You make stupid mistakes, you're going to get the benching. We've seen it. Coach Heenan rewards hard work, effort, and good play. And that's what some of these young guys came in and provided. So it's it's interesting because I think they overlooked UMass. Great. You won, and it was an exhibition, so no skin off your back. The Hamilton game where the refs arguably stole it from you and made the game about them, it's an exhibition. No more skin off your back. Now you go back into conference play, or you go into the Oswego game, which is not a conference. Then you go back into conference play after these stretch of out-of-conference games because you return from the break. This goes into the break after this game. You play the U18 team in Michigan, which is always never a bad thing to play the U18 team. Then you play SUNY Canton and Newman, which are out of conference. Actually, it's reversed. It's Newman, then SUNY Canton. And then you will see conference play come back. Once that conference play comes back, that's the games that really matter because the conference is the best shot right now Utica has at getting through, especially if Geneseo is weak this year because they lost to Oswego. They struck Geneseo on a score sheet. I haven't really done a lot of looking into their tape, but on a score sheet, from what I've seen, it looks like that there's cracks in the formation. If you're Utica, you got to be hungry and ready to get back that conference championship that you lost last year. Go get it. If Geneseo's weak, go get it. But this is a team that they've started to mold, gel, find the rules, find the system in Gary's system, and play the game. They still have problems sometimes getting too low. Sometimes, now that it seems like they walk a little bit better, the D walk a little bit better, but sometimes it feels like every once in a while the wrong guy will pinch, or the wrong guy will move a certain way, or the wrong winger will cross to the other side. That's just stuff that'll happen. You know, that's just the small mistakes that happen. Those are things that you can nitpick, but at this time, some of those things I don't think you can nitpick because there's still bigger issues like fitting guys into the system completely, like a Lunghee, who I still think has a little bit more to go to fit in, and then he will explode. Ahern struggles sometimes. He needs to find the mark. He needs to play like he is a top 6 level guy. Sometimes he doesn't, and that hurts him. And then it hurts gut. And then it hurts whoever's with him. And then it hurts gut. And then it hurts whoever's with him. But this team can be good. This team can really... Tonight it's the prove-it game. Tonight is the prove-it game. If they win this, you prove to all the voters and all the people that, hey, we're not some broken down car. We're still moving along. We're still Utica. There's nothing wrong with us. We're just adjusting. And hopefully they do. Hopefully they smoke Oswego and make a statement, especially after what the refs did last game, which I'm still not happy about. But go Pioneers. Everyone safe travels. Hopefully the roads, I doubt they're bad because it hasn't really snowed today or yesterday. But who knows? Like I said, safe travels. If you're going to the game, it should be relatively full tonight. And go Pioneers.